everybody, welcome to Shyam's Storytime. My name is Shyamla and I am a passionate storyteller. Today I am going to tell you another interesting story of King Vikramaditya. Are you all ready to listen? We have been seeing different stories that are shared by the Vetal to Vikramaditya. So once the Vetal flew back to the tree, Vikramaditya, for the person that he was, walked back all the way to the drumstick tree, picked up the corpse, hung it on his shoulders, and walked towards the crematorium. The Vetal told him another story. The name of today's story is The Prince's Lesson. So once upon a time, there was a vast kingdom which was ruled by a wise king. All the people in the kingdom loved the king so much. He was just and fair. He also equally loved all the people. This king had a son, Prince Mrityunjaya. Prince Mrityunjaya was also a very capable person. He was a learned scholar. He was a great warrior. He was extremely handsome and very much loved by his parents and other family members. But one thing worried the king so much. After many years, the king grew old and he was sick. The king felt that very soon he would be leaving this world. He wanted to hand over the reins of his kingdom to his beloved son. But his son was not ready, thought the king. The prince did not act in a responsible manner at all these days. How many ever times the king had told him, it did not work with the prince. He would spend money lavishly. He would just get up all of his friends and go into the forest for a hunt and not return for days together. He would drink and just enjoy his life, but not do any state affairs. The king thought that Prince Mrityunjaya, though a very knowledgeable person, is not yet ready to take the reins of the kingdom. So this thing worried the king so much. He also shared it with the prince. A few days passed and a hermit came to the king's court. The king welcomed him. He paid his respects and made sure the hermit was comfortable. But the hermit noticed that the king was not very happy. So he asked him, "What is bothering you?" The king shared with the hermit that he was very concerned about who is going to rule after him. He also shared that the prince was not responsible enough. The hermit said that he would like to meet Prince Mrityunjaya in his chambers. The prince came and met with the hermit. The hermit handed over a big pot to the prince and told him that this pot contained a juice made from different herbs found in different mountains and that it was very sacred. Back in his hermitage, which is in the middle of the forest, there is a certain yajna or a ritual that is happening for which this herbal juice is needed. So the prince asked him, "Why are you telling me all these things? What should I do?" The hermit told him, "I want to really go and offer this juice to the ritual, but right now I'm in a position where I cannot travel. So I want to entrust this duty to you. I want you to take this juice and travel all the way through the forest to my hermitage and offer it to my disciples that are there. They will be able to carry out the ritual without any problem. Will you be able to do it?" asked the hermit. The prince said, "Of course I will do, but please tell me which is the way to go to your hermitage." The hermit added that you have to be very careful with this juice. Not even one drop of it should fall on the ground. This is very sacred and precious. I have taken so much of trouble to collect this. So be very careful with it. Even if you keep it on the ground, you have to make sure that it is not meddled with. Not a drop should spill on the ground. Make sure that it reaches. He said, "Go to the edge of our city and travel north. You will find a big jungle. Keep traveling north towards the depths of the jungle. You will find my hermitage. It will take roughly about an entire day's journey by horse," said the hermit. So Prince Mrityunjaya collected the pot from the hermit, made sure that it is completely closed. He put it in a big trunk-like box and then hung a rope around it and put it around his neck to make sure that it will not spill at all. Then he climbed on top of his horse and galloped towards the edge of the city. As he reached the jungle, he started to go into the depths of the jungle in the direction north as instructed by the hermit. He kept traveling. So depths of the forest, you can imagine. Suddenly there was a rogue elephant that came charging towards the prince. The prince one moment was taken aback. Remember, I told you he was so fond of hunting? He wanted to pick up his sword and slash the elephant. But one moment he thought about what the hermit told him. He should make sure that the juice doesn't spill. Now the prince was concerned. What if during the fight with the elephant, a little bit of the juice spills? He didn't want to take that risk. He immediately turned the direction of the horse and went into a clearing so the elephant does not follow him. After a while, the prince felt very thirsty, very hungry. There was a nice stream next to him. He wanted to stop the horse, get down from it, drink some water, relax for a while, and then continue the journey. But the prince decided against it. What if he keeps the pot on the ground and some other animal comes and meddles with it? He didn't want to take this risk also. So Prince Mrityunjaya controlled his thirst, controlled his hunger. He continued riding on his horse towards north. A little further away, he saw a beautiful deer. It just hopped through the trees. It was like a golden deer. One moment, the prince couldn't control his craving for hunting. Remember, he was a great hunter. He wanted to get down from the horse, go behind the deer and kill it with his bow and arrow. But once again, the prince decided against it. No, I should not do it. I cannot risk this juice spilling on the ground. He continued his journey. After a while, he reached the hermitage and he noticed that there were a lot of disciples for the hermit. They were getting ready for a big sacrificial ritual. He got down from his horse, met with the chief disciple and handed over the pot very, very safely. He told him that the hermit had given him and that they can use it for the ritual. All the disciples thanked the prince and asked him to stay over for 2 more days, relax, watch the ritual and then continue his journey. The prince said, no, I want to go back to my kingdom. So he handed over the pot and immediately he got onto his horse and started to travel towards his kingdom. After another day's journey, finally he reached his palace. Straight he walked into the chambers of the hermit. He told him that very carefully, without spilling, he handed over the pot of herbal juice to his disciples and that the ritual would have happened very well. The hermit was so happy. He said, my dear prince, you have done a wonderful job. Your father is going to feel very happy about you. When this news reached the king was so happy. He came walking all the way to the chambers of the hermit. He embraced his son and he said, I am so happy. Now I can hand over the reins of this kingdom to you. I am very satisfied that you will be able to take care of our kingdom. Saying so, the king crowned the prince as the next king and he retired into the hermitage for the rest of his life. Vetal stopped the story here and it asked King Vikramaditya, let me ask you a question. Why do you think the king changed his mind about the prince? Is it because of the hermit's magic or anything? Asked the Vetal. King Vikramaditya said, of course not. It is not because of any magic. It is not even because of the journey that the prince took all the way from the palace to the hermitage. It is because of the pot of herbal juice. Remember what the king feared about the prince? That he was not a dutiful or a responsible person. Now when he was given a particular endeavor to do, the prince made sure that he was responsible. He followed all the directions given by the hermit and he did a fantastic job. Now the king understood that if he is given a job, he will be dutiful, he will be responsible, he will take care of the entire kingdom. Vetal was impressed as always and it said, King Vikramaditya, you never stop impressing me. I'm very glad that you've given the right answer, but you have broken your silence. I'm going to fly back to my tree. Psh, that's it. The Vetal flew back to the drumstick tree. King Vikramaditya, did he go and fetch the corpse once again? Yes, he did. But wait for the next episode to know what happened after that. Okay, did you enjoy today's story? If you did, subscribe to my YouTube channel, 𝐊𝐢𝐬𝐧𝐠 Storytime. You will have access to all the stories that I upload. Every Saturday there is a story on King Vikramaditya for you in English, and on Sundays there is a Panchatantra tale in Tamil. All these stories will come to your mobile phone. Watch, listen, and enjoy all the stories. My name is Shyamala and I am a passionate storyteller. I will meet you in the next episode. Bye bye.